Good morning. This is the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. My name is Dave Burney.
I'm Jeremy Scheib. Good morning.
Got a good show lined up for you today, folks. Looking forward to it. Musically, we are excited about bringing Tim Downey in. Tim, formerly from this area, and has lived away for quite a number of years, but is bringing some music with him today that he has created, written, performed, and recorded. So we're looking forward to having Tim in. Also, in just a moment or two, we're going to be visiting with Mark, if we can catch up with Mark at Tradewinds Marina and see what's happening at the lake at Sherman, near Loop City, Nebraska. Fox Theater today. We're going to go through some of the movies. Got new ones on the way that Stuart told us about last week, and much, much more. So let's just dive in and celebrate some birthdays to start with, Jeremy, here.
Okay.
We have a birthday I think most people remember, Gladys Knight. And she was with the Pips, backing her up for many years, a legendary Hall of Fame R&B singer. A string of hits, including Midnight Train to Georgia, which was one of her big ones. And another birthday celebration, John Fogerty. Of course, started out with Creedence, his brother and him creating a band, later on his own. John Fogerty is now 80 years young today, Hall of Fame guitarist and lead singer for CCR, and known for his major successes, and still touring today without a hitch. He's out on the road a lot, and he is doing that at 80 years young. Here's John Fogerty. On the phone line, we're able to contact Mark at Tradewinds Marina. Mark, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you along. Curious about the past weekend. It was one of those weekends that was forecast to be wet, and it certainly turned out that way, but it wasn't so wet that you couldn't get out and do some things. And I wonder how camping went and fishing went over the holiday weekend.
I think camping was wet,
Yeah.
and fishing was wet.
Okay.
It rained here pretty much from Friday till Monday. Well, till yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we had a little. We've got over 3 inches. I haven't looked at gauge today, but I'll bet we're pushing 3.5, 4 inches.
Wow. From the rains that started Friday night and ran through the weekend.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that it probably helps keep that lake full for a little longer.
Yeah. You know, if you'd asked me Wednesday last week if there was going to be, because they started letting water out, the lake wasn't even full yet.
Yeah.
You know, now the lake's full.
Good. That's
So
good to hear.
it helped. It helped farmers. You know, it helped everybody, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. It sure did. And now we just need to get back on schedule for fishing and camping, and we know we've got some warm weather ahead in June, and you'll be very busy there at Tradewinds Marina, and I imagine because of the weather that we had over the weekend, you're probably pretty well stocked going into June, so now's the time, right?
Absolutely. You know, we got. I did get hit pretty hard on bait over the weekend, so hate to say it, but I'm actually out of minnows right now. But I will have a new shipment coming in Friday.
Okay.
So, but we still have crawlers and leeches and all that other good stuff.
And some tackle.
Great baits.
Yeah, go along with that. Okay. Do you have like a rack of fishing poles and reels and so forth that you sell there?
Yep. Yeah, I got reels. I try and keep everything that people ask for, and if I get asked 2 or 3 different times for something, I try and get it in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, like someone's asking for a certain bait or whatever, and I get asked 3 times, I start carrying that bait because obviously it's not just an off-the-wall instant. So.
Yeah. I would think the challenge there would be with fishermen. There's kind of a little rumor mill with fishermen about, well, geez, this new spinner seems to be doing the trick. This new topwater lure, whatever the case may be.
They're all liars.
They are. They're fishermen. For heaven's sakes, they're not going to, give away all their secrets. If they do, then they're not very good fishermen, right?
Yep, I had a guy in this weekend, and he said, I got my limit. And another guy said, where'd you get it? And he said, north of the dam.
That's a good description. No kidding. Well, the fishing side of it's huge for Sherman. It's a good fishing lake, and, of course, you've got summer closer, and catfishing picks up, and the walleye, I assume, are still biting, and some crappie fishing left, so there's still plenty of fishing going on.
Oh, yeah, I don't think the walleye are just getting ready to start really hot and heavy, moving up on the flats, and so it should get pretty good here for the walleye. And it's kind of crazy, but we're starting to get a lot of people that are coming out here targeting carp on rod and reel. I
say more power to them. Catch all of those carp you can, right?
Yep. But, I mean, everything's got its place in the ecosystem,
It does.
So
yeah, and I think if anybody out there listening has had, the experience of catching a carp, they're quite the fighters. They got a tug.
Oh yeah, back in the day when we used to do tournaments, I hooked into a fish, and it was 20-minute ordeal, and it ended up being about a 22-pound carp that I snagged in the dorsal fin.
Oh, man. That
I kept telling my wife, I said, this is big fish for the tournament. This is going to be a big walleye for the tournament. Yeah, it was a big carp.
It was big. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
it was.
That's good. And so I guess I'm not a carp expert, but a lot of people use corn, worms work. I think.
Yeah. You know, the big northern in the lake, they're catching them with peas.
No, say that again.
The big northern, you know, they're catching them with peas.
With peas? Oh.
Yeah, they sprinkle them along the bank, and then when northern comes up, take a pea, they hit them in the head.
There you go.
Well, that's quite a recipe you got there. Hey, let's talk food for a minute. I know that the grill is hot, and you've got so many great specialty burgers that you talk about, and fries, and all sorts of different things that people can come and just enjoy, whether they fish or camp, or they can do both, right?
Absolutely. You know, we have, last night was taco night, Taco Tuesday, and then tomorrow night's wing night, you know, and we got a kind of a local burger challenge going on between us and the 3 other establishments in the local area, so hopefully we can come out on top on that. And that actually starts June 1st to July 4th. So
okay.
But yeah, we're staying busy. You know, we put the Philly and the Cactus Philly on our menu full time, and that people are really liking them. So
okay, all right. And for the folks who would like to just come and try some of those delicious meals, when is the restaurant portion open?
We're open from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. Every day, Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday, okay. And of course,
go
ahead.
On wing night, it's wings and appetizers. Just because I get so busy, I can't do hamburgers and everything else. So
okay, can't keep up.
But, Yep.
Okay, all right. And I know we talked about this last time. There's some additional camping spots that the state has put in around the area. That's relieved a little pressure on yours. But I would think the summer run is here. And the nice thing about your location where your camper's set up and you have lodging as well is that you're right next to the marina. You can get everything you want to go out on the lake right there.
You bet. You know, and you know, if a person has the ability to do it and get away during the week, that is one of the most beautiful times to come here. You know, it's not so much boat traffic. There's not so much people traffic. It's just completely relaxing.
Well, that definitely sounds nice, Mark, and I hope people will take advantage because you're there to take care of them no matter what day it is through the season. So stop in to Trade Winds Marine. I got to believe that most people know where you're located, but maybe not. You got to go across the dam to find you. How do we get there?
Oh, just head out of Loop City and follow the signs to Sherman Reservoir, and we're on the east side of the dam. Our phone number is 308-745-1187. And occasionally we do have people use that number they say, well, we put it in our GPS and we don't know where we're at. You know,
that can happen. But it is easy to find. You're tucked in nicely down there in the corner, and you've got a kind of roundabout so you can go around to dump the boats in and have some fun. Mark, thanks so much for taking time to talk to us today, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, you guys have a safe day.
Thank you. 7:46 is your time. Real quick here, let's take a look at the Prairie Pioneer Center menu for today. Already Wednesday on this short week, so today they're having stuffed pepper casserole, green beans, biscuits, and fruit. And call this number, 872-6121. If you're bringing somebody along, some extra guests, or if you're new, give them a call and let them know you'd like to enjoy a meal. They'll have it ready for you. use that same number at 872-6121 to set up home delivery. And tomorrow, on Thursday, they will have a special program for you following the meal, as they're celebrating May is Older American Month, and they're flipping the switch on aging. They're having a little fun at the center, and tomorrow after the meal at 1 o'clock, they'll have a program or an activity in honor of that.
And you know what you can do on Friday?
What?
You can go to Sly's.
That's a great idea.
Tim Zonk is back, bringing his smooth baritone voice to the microphone. A country rockin' good time is what you'll have at Sly's in Broken Bow this Friday night. You might remember him from his days as the frontman of Whiskey Bent. He was there for more than a decade, and at that time he shared the stage with countless national acts, from Jake Owen and Jimmy Allen to Diamond Rio and Blackhawk. 9-1 this Friday night. Head to Sly's. You'll be glad you did. East Highway 2, Broken Bow.
All right, very good. Also remind you that this is the last week of May, so may the beef be with you. You can register around the area for a chance to win a quarter of beef and a deep freeze to put it in. And second and third place prizes will be about an 8-pound prime rib roast. Both prizes on the meat side will include the locally created bearded hog barbecue seasoning. And we'll be, when are we going to draw for those?
We're going to draw for those on Monday, the 2nd.
The 2nd.
So they're going to start picking up those registration boxes across the area on Thursday and Friday. We'll get all of those slips together, and we will draw for the winners on Monday. You do still have 2 more opportunities to get registered with Text-In Trivia. We're going to play that today, and then we're going to play Text-In Trivia on Friday as well. So those are... You're kind of running out of opportunities to get registered, so get your name in there, and we'll draw this upcoming Monday.
All right, and your locations include Ansley, Sun Valley Landscaping, Moshka's Building Center and Greenhouse in Arcadia, A1 Auto Repair in Arnold, in Callaway, Agribest Feeds, here in Broken Bow, RTA's Hardware, Gateway Motors, the Grocery Cart and the Garden Center, and Evans Feed. Evans Feed also has a registration in Oconto at their feed store there. Chapin's Interiors in Square One Boutique, and in Sargent Corner Market. But they will be picking those up tomorrow and Friday. So get in there and get your name in if you haven't done so. And you can also register more than once. And we will give you that chance today to text in during the show. And there's a question that goes along with that, which we'll ask you a little bit later on. So that's all coming up. Let's play the game.
Okay. We're playing for a free pig in a blanket at your Broken Bow Runza, one of the few Runzas that does produce the pig in a blanket. Wrong sheet. We won't ask you about the Fox Theater schedule. The nursery rhyme Mary Had a Little Lamb was published in May of 1830, so we're testing your memory of some other classic nursery rhymes this week. 3 blind mice in the kitchen. With what did the farmer's wife attack them and cut off their tails? We're looking for this one's tricky. Is it A, a carving knife, B, a bread knife, C, a butcher's knife, or D, a butter knife? It's kind of dull. If you know, give us a call at 872-2801.
It's Dave and Brent getting the action started on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show on KCNI KBBN.
Nicole is having her favorite Runza salad.
The something something ranch salad.
It's the chicken bacon ranch salad.
But you can put whatever else you want around it. I'm here for the ranch.
I'm with you. Runza's homemade ranch is perfect. It's so good. A classic.
It's literally the only reason I like salad.
Great point. Come get a salad with your ranch. Try Runza's chicken bacon ranch salad today, because Runza makes it all better.
Remember, today is Pigs in a Blanket Day.
We have James on the line. Good morning, James.
Good morning.
All right, here's Jeremy with your question.
All right, James, in the nursery rhyme 3 blind mice, what did the farmer's wife attack the mice with and cut off their tails? Was it a carving knife, a bread knife, a butcher's knife, or a butter knife?
For some reason, I got in my head a butcher's knife.
Very, very close. Now, your other options are a bread knife, a butter knife, or a carving knife. Which of those do you think would be?
Carving.
Yeah.
Carving?
Yes. All right. Well, good job, James. And we've got your free pig in a blanket here at our studios if you want to come pick it up.
I sure will.
Hey,
All
thanks,
right.
James.
Thanks, James.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right, we have no losers on this show, just the two sitting here in the studio.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
We'll be right back.
The Breakfast Show
Don't know what I'd do without them. They're awesome.
on KCNI KBBN.
The right approach to care makes all the difference. And at Broken Bow Dental, that means staying true to the values that matter most to this community. Dr. Casey McLeod and her team build lasting relationships, knowing every patient by name. She also listens, making certain your treatment is the right fit. And with advanced technology, the team at Broken Bow Dental streamlines care, completing procedures in fewer visits so you can get back to what matters most. Located right off Highway 2 in Broken Bow, Dr. McLeod's practice is now accepting patients. Better, brighter, Broken Bow Dental.
Unfortunately, that air conditioning system of yours isn't quite smart enough to tell you that it needs a tune-up. That's why Taylor Heating and Cooling's technicians are there for you. Getting a tune-up now gives you peace of mind and helps you avoid making a frantic call when your system breaks down. You can also save on energy costs and reliability and catch small issues before they become a major problem. Contact your local technicians, Taylor Heating and Cooling, at 872-6196. That's 872-6196 for Taylor Heating and Cooling.
Is there anything better than getting rewarded? Let us ask you this. How many reward apps do you currently have on your phone? Are you 2 purchases away from that free coffee or maybe a sandwich? Well, maybe we have one last question. Are you being rewarded for spending? If you said no, we can help you change that. At Bruning Bank, we offer 4 levels of our Bruning Bank credit card so we can best match you with the credit card suited for your lifestyle. The best part? You earn rewards with every purchase. Give us a call today at 308-872-2757 or visit BruningBank.com to learn how you can make the most of your purchases. Bruning Bank, member FDIC.
It is 7:54, and we should probably let you know that without Brent here, an executive decision was made yesterday on sports coverage. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yes. Nebraska is going to be playing Oklahoma in the opening game of their regional, which basically means it's a 4-team regional, and it's double elimination. So we know they're going to be playing at least 2 games. If they win their way out of that regional, they would be in the College World Series, which is pretty exciting. So, Dave and I kind of talked through the different scenarios, if they win this one, lose that one, all these kind of things. And we just decided, let's just cover the regional games straight through. And that starts on Friday afternoon. They're going to go on the air at 3:30. First pitch is at 4 o'clock, and they're going to be starting off the regional play. They're in the Chapel Hill Regional, which is UNC. They're going to be playing Oklahoma out of the gate. So that starts at 4 o'clock on Friday, and then we'll hope they keep winning and get their way to Omaha. What a home field advantage, and a lot of fun that would be.
Oh, that would fill the place up. We're looking forward to covering those games for you. That way you can go about your business, get some things done, and have fun listening to the Husker baseball team. Here's Dave Alvin and Jimmy Dale Gilmore with Down to the Lubbock. On the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show, Tim Downey coming in following weather and news.
Blow in a roadhouse down. You know I've been up on the mountain and I looked for the promised land, and I've been to the ash grove and I shook lightning's hand. Now I'm leaving tonight, people. I'm down in the Lubbock bound.
Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Here's a look at Nebraska news. In a story released by KOLN, a vaccinated child in Sheridan County has tested positive for measles, according to the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services on Tuesday. This is the first confirmed measles case in Nebraska from the recent outbreak in the U.S. The child has no out-of-state travel history, but DHHS and the Panhandle Public Health District believes people who visited the public locations of Family Dollar Store in Rushville on May 17th from 9 a.m. until noon, and Gordon Memorial Hospital Clinic on Gordon on May 28th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. may have been exposed to the measles. Those who may have been exposed should complete the risk assessment survey. If you do not have access to the internet or need help filing out the risk assessment survey, call the PPHD at 308-633-2866. Anyone with known measles exposure and no confirmed immunity should stay home and away from others from 21 days from the last date of exposure, the DHHS said. If you think you are having symptoms of measles, isolate yourself from others and call your healthcare provider, emergency room, or urgent care before arriving to be tested. Do not arrive at a healthcare facility without giving an advance notice unless it's a medical emergency. Measles is an acute, highly contagious respiratory viral disease. Symptoms include fever, running nose, cough, and a rash, according to DHHS. Although measles is usually considered a childhood disease, it can be contracted at any age. Children under the age of 5 and adults over the age of 20. Non-immune pregnant or immunocompromised people are at great risk of developing severe complications from measles. There is no specific treatment for the measles. DHHS recommends protecting yourself and your family against measles and other vaccine-preventable diseases by immunization. Children should receive their first dose of measles vaccines between 12 and 15 months of age, and other dose at 4 to 6 years of age. It is recommended that infants 6 to 11 months old in Sheridan County receive an early dose of the measles, mumps, and rubella MMR vaccine. A resident with only one dose of MMR should receive their second dose as soon as possible. This has been a Nebraska News Update. I'm Jack Simpson reporting for Central Nebraska's news source.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Steve DeSager.
The Indiana Pacers now lead the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals 3-1 after beating New York again, 130-121. Tyrese Halliburton not only had a triple-double, it included 15 assists and no turnovers. WNBA wins for Minnesota and New York, each still undefeated early season. In the NHL playoffs, Edmonton is up 3-1 in the West Final after beating Dallas 4-1. Pass rusher Joey Bosa of the Bills is likely out until training camp with a calf injury. Buffalo running back James Cook did not report for voluntary workouts, wanting a new contract. Coco Gauff swept her first-round match at the French Open. To Major League Baseball, the Yankees held on 3-2 at the Angels. Pittsburgh was down 6-0 at Arizona going to the 6th, but they beat the Diamondbacks 9-6. The Padres trailed 6-0 in the first, but won 8-6 over Miami. Seattle and the Dodgers with wins.
Here's your weatherology forecast. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. A dense fog advisory continues until 10 a.m. today. Chance for rain today, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 62, southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered showers tonight, lows level off around 42, partly cloudy skies. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki.
Evans Feed Company, based in Broken Bow, serving the great farmers and ranchers in every direction beyond. No matter the season or animal, they have the products you're seeking. Proud supporters of the Custer County Fair, FFA, and much more. Evans Feed.
It is 8:06. Let's go outside and find out what it really feels like with Jack Simpson. Jack, what's it like out there?
Well, good morning. It's not as foggy as it was this morning, but definitely stay safe. There's still some light fog in the air. It's kind of weird. I can see my breath this morning for being 48 degrees outside, light and variable winds. Barometric pressure at 3014 with humidity at 97%. No rain in the last 24 hours. The precipitation for this month at 4 inches and 13 hundredths. High yesterday of 58, overnight low of 44. Sunrise today was at 6:09 and sunset today 9:02.
All right, now you out front or out back?
I am out back as of right now.
Well, how are the birds looking?
The birds are looking good. Seeing them.
My headlights were on. It was foggy this morning. Kind of that kind of fog that just sticks to your skin when you walk out the front door.
Yeah, it was pretty sticky out there. Well, let's introduce our guest we've been talking about, and I think I'll let you do that, Jeremy, because you're kind of friends of the family.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay. This is Tim Downey, and I understand you two have been talking a little bit about his music that he produces, and we're going to get a listen to that later, folks. But glad to have you here in central Nebraska.
Great, thanks. Thanks for having me on the show.
Gosh, Tim, it's been a while. You mentioned you were in the studio here when Dave was working for us back in the 1980s, right?
In the 80s, yeah.
So let's start with the history lesson. Of course, Downey's a very familiar name in these parts, and big family, and brothers go everywhere, sisters go everywhere, and let's find out where you've been.
Okay. Well, I originally from Myrna, grew up there in the 70s and 80s, graduated from Anselm Myrna High School in '88, then went to undergraduate college at Creighton University, and then medical school at Creighton as well, and then I had an Army contract for 8 years, so that whisked me away to Texas for my internship, and then Seattle for my ear, nose, and throat residency. Throughout that, I met my wife. She's a dentist, oral surgeon in the Army. So we were in the Seattle area for about 7 years, and then Georgia, Columbus, Georgia, Fort Benning for 5 years, and then they transferred her up to the D.C. area. I decided to get out of the Army and then joined a private practice near Philadelphia, and I've been there for the last 15 years. So, yeah. And I'm the seventh out of the 8 boys. So no sister. I think you said sisters there. We don't have any sisters.
No sisters.
Yeah, no sisters. No.
See, I really didn't know. When you get up around 7 or 8, it's hard to keep
track.
track.
Yeah, I know. You lose track.
Of course, Jeremy is friends with Jeff.
Yeah.
And Dave's son, and he worked here as well on the air.
Yeah.
Your family's always had a little music in it.
Yeah. My mom, a little musical history. Mom is she's a pianist, organist for our church, and all of us played instruments between guitars and drums and horns and keyboards, and then some of us took off in rock and roll bands or country bands. So Dave was a drummer, Matt was keyboardist. Our neighbors down the street were the Lewis brothers.
Yes.
Yeah, Tony and Terry Lewis and Bobby Lewis. So Tony, Terry, Matt, Dave, they had a rock and roll band. Then Dave was in a country band with, let's see if I can remember the names, Roger McGooden, Larry Hardy, Hap Jones, some of those guys.
Wow.
Yeah. And so then Bobby, and then my little brother Craig, Skid is his nickname. We had a 3-piece band, and how we cut our chops is when Dave's country band would go on their 15-minute breaks, we'd hop up and play for 15 minutes. And so once we got enough songs to have 3 or 4 hours, then we started playing in bars. So, and we did that high school, college. Last time the 3 of us played was my wedding in '96, and then Bobby Lewis passed away in 2020 of COVID. So rest his soul. After that, I'd played in bands in Seattle, a couple of bands in Seattle, and then took a break for a while. And now out in Philadelphia, I played in a blues band for a little while, and they want to go in a different direction. They fired. The first time I've ever been fired as a drummer. They did it via email, so they didn't even call me.
Oh, wow!
Said we want to go back to a 4-piece instead of a 5-piece, and then right after that, I'd contacted some guys in New Jersey that I knew, and I've been playing in this classic rock cover band for the last 5 years. Yeah.
I kind of remember Bobby. I don't remember who all was, but they came in and played here in the studio one time.
I think that was my little brother. Craig did at least once.
Yeah, they came in and played on the Breakfast Show Live one day, and of course, Bobby Lewis played, I think, with Bob Bowles.
Oh, he did. Okay,
they got together and did duets for quite a while.
Yeah, I remember Bob playing music. So yeah.
So you're a drummer as well.
Yeah, that's mainly what I do is drumming, and I I write lyrics, like we talked about the other day. I've been writing song lyrics for a while, and then the bands I've been in, they really didn't have an interest in my material. My current band, the lead guy, told me about a year ago when I brought more lyrics and said, "Hey, let's do some originals." He said the fastest way for a drummer to get fired is to make suggestions. So I kind of put that on the back burner. But now with what I'm doing with artificial intelligence, he's now interested. So we'll see where it goes. You know,
kind of gives you the ability to add maybe a little bit more of a picture of what the sound can be.
Yeah, exactly.
in an easier way.
Exactly.
And the songwriting, I'm sure you talked about all of your experiences throughout life and all the places you've been.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a songwriter's dream, right?
Yeah.
You got all these experiences that you can put into lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. So when I started writing lyrics back in high school, and then finding some of those or from high school, college, med school, finding them now, they're kind of pediatric and juvenile. And now that I'm older, I have all these experiences, like you say, and I can rewrite those. Some of them I've rewritten, which is amazing to find them in boxes, 20, 30 years later. And the idea's there, but now the experiences that I have, I can write it in a way that's deep enough for me, but broad enough and shallow enough for the listener to enjoy and draw their own conclusions and find their own experiences within the songs.
Yeah. How is AI incorporated? Is that for the instrumental part of it?
Yeah. So I'll kind of give you a story how I fell into this. So I was for 5-6 years ago, I decided when COVID came along, we weren't working as much. I decided to make some health changes and mental health changes. And part of that with my team that I work with, if they're listening, my wife, Michelle, Chris, and Aviva, if you're listening in Philadelphia, shout out to you guys for helping me journal. They wanted me to journal, but I remember the first time I was journaling the page, I wrote about how much I didn't like journaling. And so they changed their gears and said, well, you're a musician. How about, and you write lyrics, how about we, work with that? And it really took off. A year ago. I was in China. My daughters went to school in Shanghai, China, and I went over there for 2 weeks and traveling around. And I said, I really want to get serious about this. And I had an idea, and I wrote a song called Better Ways, which is on that app that I gave you.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it just took off. Well, it got to a point where my team, my wife, and my little brother, Craig, Skid, nicknamed Skid, he's been a big help with the lyrics and the songs. And they said, we need to get music to these because the words are really good. Let's find music. So I reached out to a couple of producers in Nashville that my little brother and I know about 6 months ago, and I said, hey, in 2025, I'd like to come to Nashville and see what you can do with my lyrics. I joined American Songwriter out of Nashville, and in that organization, I saw the chat room where they were talking about artificial intelligence, and I was like, wait a minute, what is this? I had used artificial, like Chat GPT on Google, just to see if it could write lyrics. It was not very good at writing lyrics that I wanted, so I continued to write my lyrics. And then I used this cell phone app called Suno, S-U-N-O. And within that, once I figured out how to use it, I cut paste my lyrics, and then you can load in the search engine your genre. And I like Americana, country, folk music, indie music. So and you can pick the vocals. You can put the mood in there. You can put all kinds of things in there. And then it'll pop out songs, and within 5 or 10 seconds, I can tell if I don't like them. If it doesn't match what I'm thinking in my head, I toss it and I start over, and I keep going and refining it until it's something that I like. And then typically I'll have my wife listen to it, or my friends, or my little brother in particular, send it to him, and we'll edit it. And then sometimes we get it right sooner than later. Sometimes it takes 100, 200, 300 iterations of this to get something that we enjoy. Then the next step was, well, what do we do with them now that we have music behind them? And then we said, well, let's put it out to the public. And our first step was Facebook, and had a good response on Facebook. And then I have an X account, and then we'll take it to the next level. Hopefully, get to Nashville one of these days. So,
well, let's take a listen to at least a couple of your songs here today. I've got them kind of in the system here ahead of time, so I didn't botch up on the app here on the air. So, but I think they're very impressive. And first thing I thought of is, well, Tim, if you don't want to do it, I certainly.
Yeah, because I don't have the voice, and I'm too old to have the pretty face on stage. So if there's somebody with a voice and a pretty face and wants to take a shot at Nashville, I'm willing to collaborate on the material. So,
well, I disagree with you on the voice part. As we age, I won't argue too much about it. But the cool thing about music, Tim, is that I heard who was it? They were talking to, Joel Walsh, and they said, why do you think you're successful still today? And he said, well, if you notice the people that are still successful that started out in 70s, 80s, even 90s now, they are able to have a following with another generation.
Yeah.
And if you think about, Tom Petty's a great example.
Yeah, exactly.
He just kept getting new fans every decade.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
Hey, you can if Mick Jagger can go on stage, you can go on stage.
Now, one thing I want to clarify: a lot of people are wondering on these songs if it's my voice. It's not my voice. Okay. I do pick the final version something that I think I could sing if I wanted to in that range. But yeah, this is all it is my lyrics, and everything else is artificial intelligence.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the lyrics themselves, because these songs, I think the one I chose a couple here to play, Tim, and that was "What Brings Me Home."
Yeah. So that started with my little brother when he had moved back. He was living in Utah, and because of his Lou Gehrig's, he had to move back to Omaha. And he was and he can't talk, so he's texting me, and he was texting about how things are familiar, And I said, you know what? Every time I fly in, and I see the corn or I see something, it just is familiar. The people are familiar, the way of life. Everything's a little bit slower than Philadelphia, and people are much kinder here than they are in Philadelphia. And so I'd started the lyrics kind of more about cornrows, and then it kind of went from there. Well, what literally brings me home? Holidays, weddings, funerals. But what brings me home in my thinking or my thoughts, and that could be everyday events out in Philadelphia, takes me right back here. And so that's how we wrote this. And I added a lot of symbols of the state of Nebraska, which really kind of ties it in.
Well, take a listen, folks. Timothy Downing's "What Brings Me Home."
There's a calm the goldenrods bring as the western meadowlarks sing, walking through fields of little blue stem. Can I feel that I'm home again? Hear the wind rustling the leaves of the tallest cottonwood trees. These sounds echo in my soul. I'm only a thought away from home. So what brings me home? It could be another holiday, or a couple's wedding day, some high school football, or a family funeral. I'm only a memory away from what brings me home today. Gone are the brick grade school, the 2 bars, and the old fire hall. The town may not look the same, but I remember faces and names. The sunset over the sand hills dunes, like mounds of cookie dough, in a hot oven lit by a low-watt bulb. I'm only a moment away from home. So what brings me home? Windmills and grasshoppers, distant mirage on Highway 2. I'm only a memory away from what brings me home today. No matter where I've been or where I'm going year after year, I will always smell, feel, and hear so many distant memories of what brings me. So what brings me home? The smell of harvesting corn rows, sound of that train whistle blow, and a flock of sandhill cranes. It's just something I can't explain. I'm only a memory away from what brings me home today. What brings me home? I'm sure I'm not alone. What brings me home?
What Brings Me Home, written and produced by Tim Downey, our guest this morning. I like that one, don't you, Jeremy?
Yeah, sounds great. Love the sound.
Yeah. And you hit a home run on why we get together, why we come home, for all those different reasons and more, right?
Yeah, exactly. When my little brother and I put that out on Facebook, I was so surprised that people from like Alaska, California, Florida had comments and said, "Wow, I listened to that," and it took me right back to Custer County, and that's giving me goosebumps. You know, thinking about that. It really, that's that's what I love to write is to move people, make them laugh, make them cry, make them think.
Yeah. Well, I think you've done it. Now, one that I'm not going to play, but I really enjoyed, was the one about the bench.
Yeah. A lot of people have been asking if that's going to be played. If there's a few words on there we probably can't put out on the air.
This is still a family show.
Yeah, exactly.
And it really isn't that explicit. It really is probably some of the conversations that you heard when you were young and heard those guys sitting on that bench. Talk about it.
Yeah. So, that was interesting. So the title of the song is called Liar's Bench, Myrna, Nebraska. And, of course, that's a song where I'm writing from memory of what old men would say in the bars, the two bars of Myrna, and then on the Liar's Bench that was between the two bars. So, my dad, my uncles, the different men there. And of course, I'm writing a song where I don't know if there's any truth to these stories. What made me write that last year is I'm a big fan of Tyler Childers, and I see you guys play Tyler on the radio here. I was reading an article on his, and he was talking about growing up in Appalachia, Kentucky, outside of Huntington, West Virginia. And he had a line in there where he writes songs similar to that from just growing up. And he had a line in there that said, "Tall tales and flat out lies." And I said, that's me, that's Myrna. That's my childhood. And so that's where that started. And I go, what better place than the Liar's Bench? And I thought, well, how am I gonna do this? And so then I thought, well, what came to me was the Liar's Bench, like gospel from a church, being on an altar, being at a lectern, and then pulpit. And that's where that line, the catch line is sermons from the pulpit of the Liar's Bench. And when I first wrote it, it was really long because I had just a storm of ideas. And then I sent it to my little brother, and he said, "You got to shorten it." And we cut it down and cut it down and cut it down. And then working on the music, that was the toughest part. That's where we went through probably 200 iterations of this artificial intelligence, and I was working more with country, and it just wasn't coming together. And then my little brother Skid said, "How about we try bluegrass?" Which we like bluegrass, but we're not bluegrass, musicians. And then it really started to take off, and then when we put that out online on Facebook, a really good response.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah.
And I considered playing it, but and again, it's not that terrible, but there's just a few lines in there that might might not go over at the Baptist church.
Yeah, there you
go. But the memories that you bring back in that song, anybody that lived around here and spent any time in Myrna remembers the bench and Ing's Tavern.
Yep.
And the guy sitting out in front of it.
Yep.
Maybe somebody inside telling some tall stories with Minnie and everybody there. And I just told my mom the other day, Tim, that I still think that Minnie made the best hamburgers you could eat, man. They were great.
Oh, wherever I've traveled, her hamburgers, cheeseburgers, there's nothing like a Minnie Ing's burger, and I tell my family that.
Yeah.
Whenever, especially they were a little smaller, I tell them they were like sliders, and you could send me to the four corners of the earth and hand me a slider, and I say that's not as good as Minnie Ing's sliders.
It's not. She did it all on a little griddle in the back room there, and it was a small little kitchen. I always made it a point to stop there and eat one of Minnie's.
Yeah.
And those memories all pour out of that bench and that little spot right there at the post office.
Yeah, and as a kid, you're sitting there listening to this stuff. You don't know if it's true or not. And then you get home and ask Dad, nah, none of that happened. None of that involved me. No, none of that.
No, that's not true.
That's not true. Go ask your mom. And Mom's like, yeah, that's true.
All right, this other cut that I pulled up that you sent was called Necklace in the Gravel.
Yeah.
And this one is about having your heart broke, I think.
Yeah. So I included that because it's about my first relationship in high school, and I had written a song 30 years ago, but it was more of a a teenage kind of relationship that breaks up and then you keep in contact for a while. And then I actually found that in a box in my basement a year ago. And so the idea was still there, but I needed to write it differently where it could fit all ages. And it's about, your heart getting broke. And so the necklace that I actually purchased was in the Bow Square on the east side. So I remember there was a JCPenney and a boot store and a cowboy hat. I don't know, was it Doty's or something? I can't remember.
Doty's department store.
Yeah, I forget what was there. And it was and it was probably a Thursday night where the shops are open later. Do they still do that on Thursday nights here?
They don't. I think I'm guessing Dittmer Jewelry maybe.
I forget what was there.
But that was a
jewelry
shop.
Yeah, so I bought this little necklace with a heart on it and gave it to her, and then she moved away. And we saw each other, kept in contact maybe once a year or so after that. And then she told me that one day, I think she was a senior in high school, had noticed it wasn't on her neck, and she was in the parking lot of her high school. And so she got down on her hands and knees and dug around in the dirt and the gravel trying to find it. And we saw each other a few more times, maybe in college, but lost track from there. So I kind of used that as kind of literally and figuratively, the chain was broken. And it broke my heart. And wherever you are, is there still a piece of me in your heart? Whatever you're searching for, I hope you find that necklace in the gravel. So that's where that came from. And when I finished the words, I was like, right now I get little goosebumps, And I got a little emotional when I finished the words, and then I had to find the music to it. And this was probably one of the first ones I used artificial intelligence for. So,
okay. All right. It's a good one. Necklace in the Gravel.
Not many out on this holiday night. I'm determined to get this right. As I stroll down snow-packed streets, in jewelry store windows I just peek, ducked in to shake off the cold, amongst fake silver and fool's gold. gold. Found that diamond chain with a little heart. Wear this necklace, you'd hold me in high regard. With all my love, I wrote on that card. You promised me till death do us part. But then one day, you walked away. You broke that chain. You broke my heart. Your letter read all that you tried to see, and how you always believed in me. Then you called about to unravel. You lost that necklace in the gravel. Down on your knees in a parking lot, searching all through the night. I knew in your heart was a piece of me, crying for your first love's last memory. With all my love, I wrote on that card. It could have been till death do us part. Then you were gone, and I moved on. You broke that chain. You broke my heart. We once had something special. Look how far we both traveled. Hope you find that necklace in the gravel. Hope you find that necklace in the gravel. With all my love, I wrote on that card. For better or worse, you're never far. I'll love again, I swear to God. You broke that chain. You broke my heart.
Necklace in the Gravel, written by Timothy Downey and produced. I knew this was going to happen, Tim. We could go on for like 2 more days, I think.
Yeah.
But we would invite you back.
Great.
And kind of keep us updated as to how this unfolds. And before you go, tell people how they can listen to your songs.
Yes.
Because you sent me a link that will make all your songs available for listening.
Yeah, so if you, one of the ways is if you download an app onto your cell phone, Suno, S-U-N-O, currently it has a kind of an orange background. And I'm in there under TJ Downey, D-O-W-N-E-Y, or TJ Drums 12. I also have an X account at TJ Drums 12. I'm also on Facebook, where I post some of the songs, but if anybody asks, I'll send them the link to all my songs. I have 62 songs right now on that app, and I tier them. You know, they're my top tier, and then after that, and so yeah, the goal is to take maybe 10 or 15 of them to Nashville and cut a demo CD with musicians there and shop it around Nashville and see what people think.
Well, it's been so much fun. I know that there's somebody up in Alaska either listening to the stream or watching. So hello, Alaska.
Yeah, it's probably Kimberly Weatherwax.
Yeah.
She's my number one fan, I think.
She's been promoting you quite nicely.
Shout out to Kim out there.
Yeah,
thank you.
She's a great young lady. And it's nice to have support from people from here, isn't it?
Yeah. This is thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'll be back.
Come back.
All right, we'll do.
Back. We'll take a time out with these words. We have more guests coming in the studio, so stay tuned.
Spring and summer fun is upon us. Here at Team Physical Therapy, we want to get you ready and keep you healthy all year long. If you are having trouble getting back into shape, call Team Physical Therapy at 872-5111. We are highly trained in sports injuries that you may be experiencing. Whether it's a muscle strain, shin splints, foot, knee, or shoulder pain, let your movement rehabilitation specialist get you in shape for summer fun. Call Team Physical Therapy at 872-5111 or check us out on the web at myteampt.com.
If you're looking for cane or grazer seed, contact Evans Feed Company. They still have some available. Quality twine and net wrap is on hand too. Don't forget Evans Feed keeps many types of salts and cattle minerals in stock as well, including fly control, help prevent pink eye and foot rot, and help get better breed back. Good minerals are a great investment. Give Evans Feed a call for cane seed, twine, net wrap, salts, and minerals. They can deliver to your farm or ranch. They stock it all for big and small. 800-830-2119 for Evans Feed.
You're waking up with The Breakfast Show. KCNI, KBBN Radio.
I love it.
Hey guys, did you know there are more cows in Nebraska than people? Really? Why? I don't know. Guess they like it here. Know what else there's a lot of in Nebraska? What? ATVs, and that's why Agland ATV in Broken Bow stays so busy. They sell ATVs and side-by-sides too, right? Yep, and tires and provide service too. Check them out online at aglandatv.net. More cows than people, huh? I wonder why. I don't know. You want to go grab a burger? Sure, Agland ATV, West Highway 2, Broken Bow.
Did you know that there are supplemental health insurance policies that enhance your coverage? Hi, this is Liana with Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency. You're used to hearing me talk about annual enrollments, Medicare, and private health insurance, but dental, vision, accident, cancer, and hospital indemnity plans are available year-round. These affordable coverages can help ease the financial burden when the unexpected happens. Give Lori or myself a call at 308-836-2201 or stop into the office in Callaway or Broken Bow.
It is 8:39. Our guests are in the studio. I am thrilled because we've been talking about getting the partner in, Kendall, and you've done it.
Yeah, finally came together.
You finally got Noah in from Max Kickers, and it's good to have you guys here.
We appreciate being here.
Grab that mic, Noah. You know how to do this. You've been here before.
It's been years since I've been in here.
There you go. There, we can hear you. So, guys, we're in late May, going into June. You're not going to go out on the road like you have before,
right?
And so you're going to be stationed right here in town.
Yep.
And how's it going?
Well, I think it's going really well. I mean, we were really concerned as summer started to come, things would slow down, but it's just changed days on us.
Yeah, I think we're just busier than ever, honestly.
Good. And people coming in, grabbing something to eat, and having some fun.
Yeah. I mean, that people watch other people while they're eating, and next thing you know, they want to try it.
Yeah.
Now, you were on the verge of lots of things. You keep improving, keep adding. Where are you at on that right now? Noah, you got. Can you throw something at me now if you had a picture? Or?
Oh yeah, I mean definitely.
So if you wanted to put a axe in my forehead, you could do that now.
I mean, you know what? We got a few new games out there. I mean, you can upload whatever you want to throw at.
Okay, all right. Jeremy, have you been out for a while?
I haven't. I haven't had the opportunity to get out there, no. But it sounds intriguing.
Yeah. So all the things you've added, plus just the standard throwing the axe and sticking it in on the bullseye, right?
Yep, and that's still the most popular thing is the bullseye. Till people figure it out, then they want to try the games, the duck hunting and stuff like that.
Yeah. I like things, I don't know about you guys, but I like things that are easy to keep score for. That isn't too complicated. So you don't have to think too much, right?
I mean, hey, that's the best part about this. You don't even have to do math. It does it all for you.
Yeah, you don't even have to do that anymore. That's fantastic. All right. So what are your hours right now? Let's be sure and cover that. I want to make sure that people know when they can come out and how it kind of works if you're going to want to throw a party and have it reserved.
So right now we open at 5 p.m. every day, and Sunday through Thursday we close at 10-ish. I mean, last Sunday I was there to midnight because there were people who wanted to throw. So we don't kick you out or nothing like that. And Friday and Saturdays our hours are scheduled to 1 a.m., But if there's nobody there at 11:30, midnight, we go home.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends on that. You just never know. I mean, it's really crazy. Like I said, the other night was midnight on a Sunday before I went home.
You never really know what people's schedules are.
Right.
And I'm sure you guys have really discovered that.
Yeah.
You know, that you can have, I mean, we have family in town from out of state at random times, and maybe you've got the next day off of work midweek. I think that's the exciting part about what you guys are doing. It gives you an option to do something in the evening. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, lots of doors are locked and things are dark, and you've got an option to go and eat and play any time of the week.
And we're really flexible. I mean, if you like you said, you guys come in and it's 3:00 on a Tuesday, and you guys want to throw. If you get a hold of us, chances are pretty good that one of us can get away and make that happen for you. I mean, we try to be very accommodating. It doesn't always work, but we try. Yeah. I mean, we want people to have a good time and a quality experience with us.
Okay. No, I hear you're getting a little serious about this game of pool.
I mean, I've been trying. You know, I know when I played you when you're out there for a Christmas party, that might have been the longest game of probably either of our lives. But I've been getting a little bit better.
Well, we made it long together. and that's the thing, too. If you that particular night, everybody was having fun throwing different things at the boards, and I saw that old pool table over there, and I thought, man, I used to play a lot of pool. I'm going to give it a try, and that's something that you can play doubles or singles, and maybe wait your turn to get in there and throw some axes, or vice versa.
Yep, you do that. You can play pinball while you're waiting for the pool table. We got a couple options.
Yeah, pinball is getting quite a bit of use too, I think.
Yeah,
I mentioned last time.
Yeah, it's really popular.
You know, my oldest son was a pinballer, and I should bring him in and test out. And you guys could maybe test him out a little bit, see if he still got it or not.
And he's not bad at it. I'm not very good.
Things get a little too worn how I keep launching the ball.
Well, you mentioned different time periods for different people, and I know, Noah, you have a full-time job at BD.
Yep.
Now you're on days, right?
Yep. I'm just Monday to Friday now.
Okay, but you do have a lot of employees that work night shifts. And a lot of times those kind of shifts kind of leaves you out of the social activity. But in your case, they can.
Honestly, I think BD's night shift is probably one of the biggest groups that we have out there.
Yeah, there are a lot of regulars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me because there's for folks who work nights, it's tough. I actually worked nights for about a year at Sperry, New Holland down in Lexington when I was younger. And sometimes you got to feeling like you were the only person in the world, you know.
Yep.
And to be able to have some place to go that was open, a big deal. I'm sure they appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, is there something you wanted to highlight today that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, we got a couple things we wanted to bring up. I actually wrote it down in case I couldn't remember.
Good man.
Yeah, finally.
Notes are good. Notes are
It took me
good.
4 times, but we're going to be starting this. It's going to start today. We're going to have a birthday program, kind of. If it's your birthday, and you bring at least 2 other throwers in with you, the birthday thrower throws for free for up to an hour. Okay. With two paying or more, come on in and just celebrate your birthday a little bit with us.
That sounds like a great deal.
So, some people mentioned that to me, and we talked about it, kind of jumbled around, like this is what we'll do, and so we're offering that. And we have hats and shirts now. We have beanies and ball caps. If you were to purchase those from us and wear them in to throw, 10% off throwing if you got our stuff on.
Cool.
Nice.
So
yeah,
it's you could pay that hat off in no time.
Yeah, there you go. It's like a hat payment plan.
Right, exactly.
And I don't know. No, are you going to go for that? Because you always got the bandana going on. You're going to put a hat
You need
on.
one of those
I mean,
embroidered. You
know what? Now that I got a
embroidered.
couple of them, I may as well.
There you go.
Well, I look back and I think with Noah, I always thought, this has been years ago now. Hey Noah, come out and cut some commercials. I like the sound of your voice. And then you went off and become like a expert in chemicals or something at BD. I don't know.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, when I worked out here last time, it was just didn't have a car and it was real hard to make it out here.
Yeah.
I lost that motivation real quick.
Yeah, it is kind of out on the edge of town here.
Yep.
Yeah. But how did you guys partner up? How did you get together and make
We've known each other for quite a while, but the
Yep.
partnering up, I mean, I was looking at a different space, and Noah, somebody asked Noah about it. The guy that owned the space asked Noah, what was my hold up, and he asked me and kind of told him. He's like, well, I can cover this if you can do this, and it just happened in my front yard in about 3 minutes. So we made that decision right now.
That's a good story, and it really works for you guys. You seem to really, I don't know, you like 2-piston engine and it's running all the time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we both got things we're good at.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference. We both have a different age group that we know people of, and Noah knows everybody.
I mean, they all know me. I can't remember half of them.
Names are hard, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a great combination, and, the idea that you're coming up with these new things, when you start getting, shirts and hats, that means you're serious about it. That's going to mean you're going to be around a while.
We're very serious about this.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I've said on here before, the community support has been amazing. I mean, it's not just Broken Bow. We're getting people from out of Custer County coming. We had a little tournament last night between the Broken Bow throwers and the Sergeant throwers, and 2 of them are from Burwell, and they came all the way over to throw.
That's great.
So, it's really good when, you just never know who's going to show up.
Yeah, and from where.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they hear about it from friends who have been here, or maybe heard about it on some of your Facebook and advertising and different things, hopefully the radio.
I've had several people come in and say, I heard you on the radio. I hear that quite a bit.
Good. That's good to hear. So the size of the building is perfect, I think, for what you're doing. I'm guessing you're going, well, I wish it was bigger.
We've got tons of ideas. We just don't have enough room.
Yeah.
I mean, we have lots of ideas.
Well, there's an old philosophy that I'll throw out here. Over the years, promoted bands and events and festivals and different things. A small venue clear full is much better than a big venue half full.
Right.
Even if you have as many or more people in it, it just has a great feel when, you're rubbing elbows a little bit. You got to make room for one another.
I like that too.
And I think it's really a welcoming atmosphere you have.
Yeah, I think so. Between us and the Cracker Jacks, it just kind of flows nice, and everybody's so, like you said, welcoming and appreciative of the customers. And I really like, you can talk about it, and you've been out there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like you're just talking.
No,
you've experienced it. Both of you guys have.
Yeah. And we should come back and unwind a little bit because it just feels good to have fun. Sometimes if you aren't maybe just forced to have a little fun once in a while, you don't get it done.
Right. Yeah. Life gets in the way of enjoying it.
Go back to work the next day. That's what you
exactly.
got. That.
But that's one thing about us. You can come down for an hour and have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because you can do a lot of throwing in an hour, a lot of laughing. I mean, there's so much laughing that goes on there.
Laughter, good food, beverages if you like.
Yep.
It's all set up. You guys have, I don't know, a 3-minute conversation to become partners is a little quick.
It worked out. I mean, we just kind of just jumped off the end.
Yeah, I don't really think about most things. I just got to do it.
And then we're evolving all the time with our targets and how we do things, and we're learning. We're going from targets that takes 3 grown men and a boy to lift to ones that me and him can do. Just figuring it out as we go because we don't know what we're doing.
That's what's so great about it.
I mean, I'm not making that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when we bought that axe software, it came with all these instructions that I immediately threw in the trash can and went, now we got this.
So, we're wigging it all.
That's great. That's great. And again, you mentioned Carmen and Cracker Jacks and that whole partnership as well, if you will, that fell together.
Yeah.
Boy, well, what a great combination you have.
Oh, it's a blessing for us. I mean, it's just a blessing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have another word for it.
So if Jeremy wanted to throw a party for, say, his boss or his friends, how do you go about that? You need to kind of have a time that you guys can make available? Or?
Yes, absolutely. What we need to start off where we can get a quote together is we need what day and time you're thinking, how long you're thinking, and how many people. And then we can put something together. I mean, you definitely get it a lot cheaper when you book a party ahead of time as far as per person by the time because, that's just how we do it.
Yeah. And also, Noah, I know that if they're first-timers, there's a little paperwork that needs to be done. Doesn't really take very long, does it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a minute of paperwork. It's not that hard.
Yeah. And you guys kind of help with it if they...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you've done it before, you don't need to fill it out again. We've got them. We've kept them all.
I bet you have quite a few stacked up now.
It's crazy.
Your
how
filing
many.
cabinet.
It's a stack now.
Wow.
That's not counting the ones from before that I have. That's just the new ones.
Oh, that's not even going
That's
back
just
to your...
since when we opened up here. That's not the old. I mean, I got a stack of them.
I've read through a couple reams of paper now.
That's great. That
Yeah,
shows
it's a good problem. Yep.
Yeah, it's very popular. Gosh. Well, it's good to have you guys in. Anything else that you wanted to highlight?
Kind of want to mention?
So we can't say a whole lot, but there's going to be something a lot bigger coming. That's going to be part of us, but it's not axe throwing related necessarily.
Right. It's going to be under the axe kicker's name, but just something that's coming down the pipe soon.
No, you can't do that.
Yes, that's what makes it great.
He's like, yes, we can. We just did.
You stop in Axe Kickers and we'll talk about it.
You know, we were just talking about how we just do things without thinking. Well, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, that's a good teaser right there.
I think we talked about it for maybe a half hour, 45 minutes total.
And then Noah says, let's do it.
That's exactly right, too.
Hey, that's times 10 longer than you talked about being partners. So
I said, what do you think? He said, let's do it. We did it.
Okay, now, I'm not asking you to spill the beans on this, but is this entertainment related? Is it something more for people to enjoy?
Absolutely. Something I think this community and area needs.
Yep.
Wow. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. No sleeping tonight. We're gonna be
that was a good teaser, guys.
What the guys are up to out at Axe Kickers. That's great. That's great. How soon will we know, Noah?
Oh, I mean, hopefully after like this next couple weeks, another week or two, maybe max.
Okay. Yeah,
right.
then we'll be ready to talk about it. Yep.
Okay. I don't know how you guys do it because I know you both work full time and you run this business that's more than full time. But I can tell you that we appreciate it.
Well, we thank you very much. It's just been wonderful.
This is your chance before you go. Brent is not here today.
Right.
And you went to high school and school with Brent. And
kindergarten through 12th.
Okay, and he tells me you were kind of a wildcat, and he was trying not to be a wildcat. Did you ever get him to be a wildcat?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The only time I know of him getting pulled over in high school was with me.
Wow, way to
go,
man.
We weren't really doing anything wrong. He was playing the trumpet, and I was beating on drums. We were chasing a bus out of town after a basketball game. They thought we were egging them. We were not egging them. They got to us too soon.
There you go. Mr. Clean gets off again.
Playing a trumpet in a car.
Yep. He was hanging out the window, and I was in the back beating on the drum, which I wasn't in the band. I was just trying to keep rhythm. There's a couple other things, but like I said, me and him said, we won't discuss that one.
Oh, there you go. Fair enough.
No.
Noah, before we close, also you mentioned you took a swim over the holiday weekend, or?
Oh yeah, I made the real big mistake of getting in the Snake River at Friday afternoon and getting out come Monday, and that might have been the coldest week of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, multiple days.
Oh yeah, multiple days with a wet sleeping bag.
Oh no, that sounds horrible. That sounds terrible.
I was not prepped for cold weather apparently.
Gee, many Christmas.
We're glad you made it in today. We're glad you made it out of the river.
What did you canoe or?
Yep, it was in canoe. Never been in a canoe before. Didn't realize how rocky they were.
Yeah.
Went underwater a lot. I can't swim. It was a grand old combo of things. Let me tell you.
And your sleeping bag was in the canoe, obviously.
Yeah, it was, and I didn't have my dry bag rolled quite tight enough because, like I said, I don't really do a whole lot of these things, and that was a lesson that I learned real quick.
Again, no, there are times where snap decisions are not always good.
Hey, you know what? I'd do it again.
I know you would.
I might just prep a little bit better.
Yeah. Thanks much, guys. Appreciate you coming in, and thanks for waiting on us. We had a guest who has grew up here, come back, and brought some music with him, so we appreciate your patience there.
Not a problem, guys.
Yeah. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good seeing you again.
We'll take a time out or two with these words.
Love is in the air, but so are romance scams, where scammers online pretend to be your perfect match. Then they gain your trust and ask for money. They might claim to need help with an emergency, travel costs, or even investments. But the truth is, they are after your wallet, not your heart. Never send money or financial details to someone you haven't met in person. If in doubt, talk to your bank. Don't let a scam break your heart and your bank account. Stay smart, stay safe. This message brought to you by Nebraska State Bank and Trust Company. Member FDIC.
Moline Seed and Fence was founded by the Moline family in 2014 southwest of Callaway with a simple concept: to serve farmers and ranchers by providing quality fencing and livestock supplies. They continue to meet the demands of all livestock producers, providing watering and fencing products of all kinds, from barbed wire to hedge posts, creosote post pipes, and panels. Give Moline Seed and Fence a call and have their team help you lay out your next project. Call 308-529-0781 or visit them on their web at molineseedandfence.com.
May is Beef Month, and we're celebrating big. Win a quarter of beef, a 7 cubic foot freezer, and 3 bold bearded hog barbecue seasonings in our grand prize giveaway. Second and third place snag an 8-pound prime rib and savory steer seasoning. Register all May at participating local businesses or by tuning in to The Breakfast Show. Get full contest details at sandhillsexpress.com. Don't wait. Beef up your chances to win today.
Duda Plumbing, the guys you want when you need a new septic system or your existing system needs a good pumping. With Scott and Colton boasting over 40 years of experience, they know a thing or two about keeping things flowing smoothly. Don't wait until your backyard or basement smell like a swamp. Get on their schedule for a pump every 2 years. For the really tough spots, their sewer camera can spy on what their eyes can't catch. For over 40 years, Duda Plumbing, where they do the plumbing. The Secret Garden. Some secrets just can't be kept. Open every Friday 11:30 to 4:30 and Saturday 8:30 to 4:30. From antiques to gifts, sympathy to home decor, you can always shop and order online at thesecretgardenonline.com. Each Thursday, you will find them at the Farmers Market as well. They hope to see you at their store 2 miles west of Myrna on Highway 92 and a half a mile north, or Thursdays at the Farmers Market in Broken Bow. The Secret Garden.
I have a problem. I've been given 30 seconds to explain all the advantages of a Ranke irrigation system from Central Nebraska Diesel. You see, 30 seconds is not enough time to tell you in detail why high-strength steel and superior engineering combine to make Ranke the best irrigation system on the market, or why the service provided by Central Nebraska Diesel is second to none. So stop by and see Central Nebraska Diesel today. Let them show you the advantages a Ranke provides. There you go. Problem solved.
Thank you, Larry. We'll take a quick 1-minute timeout. We'll have news for you, and then we have more guests coming in to talk to here on this breakfast show.
The music to get your day started right.
I listen every morning.
The Breakfast Show on KCNI KBBN.
Cattlemen, spring is here and things are starting to green up. But alongside the good green like pasture grass and trees come the bad greens: musk thistles, mullenweed, buckbrush, and other weeds. Let Aero Aviation help you get the bad green under control this spring. They use the latest in aircraft and GPS technology and crop protection products while keeping the good green in your pocket. Call Casey, Melissa, or Kim today and schedule spring spraying with Aero Aviation, 872-5113.
At Varney Pharmacy in Broken Bow, they care about your health and your wallet. Save big with Lita brand products like 24-hour allergy relief comparable to Allegra, or all-day allergy tablets comparable to Zyrtec, but for less. Same trusted ingredients, affordable prices. Struggling with dry, itchy, allergy eyes? Blink Eye Drops offers soothing relief you can trust. And for complete eye health, grab Ocuvite or Preservision Eye Supplement Soft Gels. Swing by Varney Pharmacy today. Your neighborhood pharmacy with big savings on the brands you trust.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. Reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley could walk out of prison a day after they were pardoned by President Trump.
They were given a pretty harsh treatment based on what I'm hearing.
The Chrisleys were convicted of evading taxes and defrauding banks of more than $30 million. Today marks a milestone since the October 7th attack. This woman in Tel Aviv has a relative who was taken hostage.
600 days of darkness, 600 days without freedom, 600 days of abandonment.
Sean Combs' sex trafficking trial is resuming in New York after testimony from a former assistant. CBS's Katrina Kaufman is at the courthouse.
Capricorn Clark gave a lot of very salient testimony, including 2 instances where she alleges that she was kidnapped by Sean Combs, had her life threatened, starting on day 1 of the job.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
When you buy a new house, you might say,
"Shut the front door."
"Winning."
No, seriously, shut the front door. We own this house now.
But you actually need to say,
"Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there."
That's right. The local State Farm agent is there to help you choose the coverage you need.
Welcome to my crib. No one says that anymore, but I don't care.
So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Steve DeSager.
The Indiana Pacers now lead the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals 3-1 after beating New York again, 130-121. Tyrese Halliburton not only had a triple-double, it included 15 assists and no turnovers. WNBA wins for Minnesota and New York, each still undefeated early season. In the NHL playoffs, Edmonton is up 3-1 in the West Final after beating Dallas 4-1. Pass rusher Joey Bosa of the Bills is likely out until training camp with a calf injury. Buffalo running back James Cook did not report for voluntary workouts, wanting a new contract. Coco Gauff swept her first-round match at the French Open. To Major League Baseball, the Yankees held on 3-2 at the Angels. Pittsburgh was down 6-0 at Arizona going to the 6th, but they beat the Diamondbacks 9-6. The Padres trailed 6-0 in the first, but won 8-6 over Miami. Seattle and the Dodgers with wins.
Here's your weatherology forecast. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. A dense fog advisory continues until 10 a.m. today. Chance for rain today, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 62, southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered showers tonight, lows level off around 42, partly cloudy skies. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki.
Getting your car running its absolute best, making it look its absolute best. The parts, tools, and products you need to do it are
on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. We promise you more guests, and here they are. Matt Denson, Jeanette Denson are here. Thanks for waiting on us, guys. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Custer Care Center. Matt, is it moving along? Is this a faster pace than you thought it would be when you decided to take on this task?
There's some days that it's definitely more fast-paced than others, that's for sure. I wasn't anticipating how hectic things can get with just a flip of a switch, yeah.
Yeah. So when you get up in the morning, you're no longer saying, I know what the day's going to be like.
That is correct. There is not a certain set schedule. We do this at this time. It is, let's see what happens.
Well, didn't Jeanette explain that to you ahead of time?
She must have skipped that
one. Yeah, I always say there's no days the same.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've been talking to a lot of folks in the industry, and everybody's like, I've been in this industry for 20, 30 years, and they're like, I'm learning something new every day. There's always something new.
Well, that's important to stay up to date on those changes and curves that are thrown you, but it does keep things interesting, I would think.
Yeah, it certainly does.
All right. So let's begin with vacancies, guys. Are there any rooms available at Custer Care?
There are. I think we have 4 right now.
3.
Okay. Oh, you got 3 openings. Okay.
Yeah. So we have a waiting list, but people aren't quite ready. So, if you're looking for a place, we have a couple of the new rooms that are open. And
those are nice. When we were there last, Aubrey kind of gave us a little look at one of the ones that was pretty spacious, nice flooring, a warm feel to it.
Yeah, and everybody has their own bathroom, which is important.
Yeah.
Now, it used to be people shared bathrooms, but they don't want to do that anymore, and I don't want to do that.
None of us do.
No.
I do think some of us remember, Jeanette, we're somewhere the same age when we went on a trip, and the folks are trying to save a little money, and you stayed in it was clean. It was good, but the bathroom was at the end of the hall, and everybody...
Yeah, right. And everybody went down to the end of the hall, yes. Yeah.
You think about
I
that
don't want to go back to those days.
No,
I do not.
No. Maybe a wash bowl on the...
in your room.
Yeah. Certainly beyond that, and now you have those rooms with the bathrooms of their own. That's very important.
Yeah. It is.
So you got 3 of those available, a waiting list, so don't wait long.
Yeah, just get in there. Yeah.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Help-wise, where are you at? I think you've made some gains on this. But you have some openings left?
Yep. The in the house itself, we're pretty much all the way staffed now, which is a great thing. There's been a lot of people who have had to put in a lot of extra hard work, to make up for the lack of. But now everybody's finally catching a breather.
Mm-hmm.
But we do need home care people. So we're really looking for people who just like to help folks out. And, it's just going into their home and helping them with whatever kinds of things that they need done.
And, Jeanette, can you kind of describe in general what somebody out there who's listening is thinking, I'd like to help my neighbors down the street. I would want to stay home too.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the duties that are required?
Well, we can do general housekeeping, light housekeeping. We help prepare meals if they need that. We change the sheets on the beds and do the laundry if they need that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do outside work, but we're there for companionship if that's what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's all it is. We remind them to take their medicine if they need that. But it's every person decides what they need, or the families decide what they need. So, and then we can change things, but But normally they decide what it is that we need, and we have the staff go in to do those things. And
maybe take a look at the fridge and make sure
Yeah.
there's fresh food in there rather than
Right.
old food and
right.
that sort of thing.
Yeah. So sometimes it's, there's a lot of people don't know what they need until we get there.
Well,
you know,
that makes sense.
And then they, oh, you can do that too. Yes.
Yeah.
And so, and then we try to make the right staff go into the right home. Our guarantee is the right staff in your home. So if you have a staff member that comes in and you just, they just don't click, then that staff person doesn't go back.
Okay.
And, because I don't want somebody in my home if I don't really get along with them, or I don't,
Yeah.
and they could be the best caregiver around, and it just doesn't fit. So, but I always tell people, if nobody fits, it might be you.
Yeah. Maybe after 3 you're deciding maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, it's different for everybody,
Right,
as you mentioned,
it
and you
is.
try to meet their needs and customize it.
Right.
And everybody that's at home wants to stay there. I think.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them. Everybody wants to stay in their home as long as possible.
Mhm.
And then when they can't, we have Custer Care.
That's right. That's
So-
right. I often think about as you go through life, there's things that you mentioned that you don't think about. Making a bed can be very difficult for somebody who has a bad back and is older, maybe doesn't stretch like they used to. Showers and baths are a dangerous but necessary territory, right?
Yes, and we can be there to. Some people just want somebody in the home while they're taking a bath.
Yeah.
Just so that they feel safe, and sometimes we help them take a bath if that's what they need. So,
Okay. Of course, Jeremy, their transportation system, as you've heard and know, has grown to a fleet.
Yeah, what did I that was a couple of times ago that I asked how many vehicles you were at. What's that number at again?
13, I think.
11 for the transport and 2 for the home care.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a lot of oil changes.
Yeah, it is.
You
Peggy does a great job with that.
But this morning, when the car breaks down at 5 in the morning, Peggy wasn't having such a good morning this morning.
Oh no.
Oh, it's one of those days you were talking about.
Yeah,
at the top.
right.
Yeah.
That was Peggy's day today.
Great way to start.
Yeah. You guys were looking for a place to put those vehicles. Are you still looking?
Yes.
We are.
You think that would be easy to find someplace, or a place to put up carports or something,
Mm-hmm.
but we haven't found any place.
No.
So
Well, I think one of the discoveries that people make when they look for storage, that there's not very much available.
There
and
isn't.
they're still building and creating storage.
Yeah.
And to have storage for 10 vehicles or, say,
Yeah.
12 or 13.
yeah, there just isn't. We have room for 5 where we are.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and otherwise, the Methodist Church parking lot is our parking lot.
Not much of a cover on that, is there?
No, there's no cover, but we appreciate being able to do that. So,
Yeah.
So,
All right, 3 spaces available. The transportation goes out every day, taking people to doctors and specialists and so forth.
Right.
I imagine the kitchen has been warmed up for breakfast and getting ready for dinner here pretty soon.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. They. My mind went blank.
That's fine. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
When you have days you don't know exactly what to expect, that's what happens, Jeanette.
No. Yeah. We do need to talk a little bit about the tractor drive.
Okay.
You can.
That's your baby. This
Yeah.
is my first iteration.
11?
12. This is the
12.
12th one,
Yeah.
and it's going to be on Saturday, which is going to be different. And we're going to start in Westerville this year.
Yeah.
So at Country Partners in Westerville. And then we're going to travel around Round Valley and Westerville, Weiser area. So
if you have a tractor that is...
well, we prefer 20 years old, but, any tractor's fine as long as they go at least 10 mile an hour.
So it'd be where tractors that are 20 years old, I think the tractor, when I was a kid, that my dad has, I mean, it's a decently modern tractor, but, like, it's 20 years old, and, I mean... It has
has a cab and everything, doesn't it? Yeah,
it's pretty modern. It kind of makes me feel like time has really flown by.
Yeah. So,
I'm sure you get John Deere A's and B's and all kinds of stuff that cruise.
I don't know much about any kind of tractor. My husband doesn't appreciate that, but I don't. I don't know what they're called. Yeah.
But if you want to cruise along in the tractor ride, there's flyers that are out there.
Yes,
what's the number people should call?
872-6303, and talk to Peggy or Matt, and they, anybody can enter. It's $50, so.
And you won't go hungry.
Yeah.
You know that.
Oh, yeah.
It's always good food.
Yeah. Got all sorts of stops planned along the way out there.
So, you'll have a good time, and so.
If you like sweets, you'll be in good shape.
Yes, there will be plenty of sweets, plenty of food. There always is, and I think this year is they're having a steak dinner at the end of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're doing breakfast that the Country Partners is going to put on, and then we'll have a break with a little snack, and then we'll have lunch, and then when we get back, they're going to do a steak dinner. So,
Pitchfork steak dinner.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So
it's going to be fun.
Is it fair to say that the tractor run is to raise the money for some of the things you do?
It is for the transportation.
But it's also for the food.
Yes. Well, that's the main part of it, Yeah. I couldn't believe they were going to do a steak dinner at the end of it. So.
All for $50.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
Oh, I might get out my toy tractor.
Pedal along,
Yeah, it's...
remember, 10 mile an hour, all right?
That's true.
You got to keep those legs chopping.
Maybe I can hook a ride.
So it'll be fun, and we appreciate all the people who donate to it to help this, because a lot of businesses do donate, so it helps. Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for coming in, and thanks for the wait. Appreciate that. We got a busy day.
So, all right.
All right. We'll take a quick time out with these words.
The right approach to care makes all the difference. And at Broken Bow Dental, that means staying true to the values that matter most to this community. Dr. Casey McLeod and her team build lasting relationships, knowing every patient by name. She also listens, making certain your treatment is the right fit. And with advanced technology, the team at Broken Bow Dental streamlines care, completing procedures in fewer visits so you can get back to what matters most. Located right off Highway 2 in Broken Bow, Dr. McLeod's practice is now accepting patients. Better, brighter, Broken Bow Dental.
Hello there, it's Erin with Rise Rehab and Performance. Spring has sprung and summer is just around the corner. We want you to feel ready for all the fun of the warmer months. Don't let your physical conditions slow you down. Rise to the occasions of your life. Is it farming and ranch work, summer sports, travel, whatever it may be, we want you to feel your best. Give us a call at 872-5800 to schedule your appointment today. Rehab, recover, rise.
You're listening to The Breakfast Show. It has been a lively show, a lot of fun, a lot of great people coming in today, as usual. Yeah, they are the stars of the show, the people who come in and talk about what they do and what they're offering you, and Tim Downey this morning, bringing in his music. That's what the show is all about. We appreciate your participation and your listenership out there. Programming note, we will run a little long today. We have lots of things yet to talk about, and we also want to give you a chance to text in here before we close the show to get registered for a chance to win our beef prizes before we get the show done here.
Yeah, time's running out for you to get registered. Registration boxes I've poked my it's hard for me to go into a local business and see that registration box. You see that pad of paper there and the pen. I'm always the first person to grab one of those and just put my name in, because you never know. I never win.
I know, but still,
you never know. You keep doing it. But these, no matter where I see them, I can't enter.
Yeah. Employees
and that video, you folks might have seen that video I put on Facebook over this past weekend. Just walking past that cooler in the front entryway of the radio station every morning, it's just like, man, so much beef in there. Mm.
Just pop those out of the freezer and thaw them out, put them on the grill. Yeah. Somebody's going to be able to do that. Plus, second and third place prizes, those 8-pound prime ribs with the seasoning made locally. So be listening. We'll get you a chance to text in here yet. And as Jeremy mentioned earlier, the girls will start picking up the registration containers in participating businesses sometime tomorrow. So you might want to get in and get your name in one more time or for the first time. All right, we have some job openings and so forth. Jack, we're going to be a little late there for you, so here we go. Ansley Public Schools is seeking a qualified and motivated individual to serve as the Maintenance Transportation Director. This is a full-time, year-round position that plays a vital role in overseeing the daily operations of the facilities and transportation services. And they're also looking for a dependable and motivated school custodian to help maintain and clean and make it safe and welcoming for the students and staff. If you are interested in any of these positions, contact Kim Jonas at 308-935-1121, 935-1121, or download a copy of the application from their webpage, ansleypublicschool.org.
Let's just keep it in Ansley. Nebraska Department of Transportation has an opportunity for a highway maintenance worker to join their team not only in Ansley but also in Broken Bow. They reward their employees' hard work with a friendly and supportive work environment that encourages creativity and innovation. You get training, career development, advancement opportunities, ample paid time off, work-life balance, and a comprehensive benefits package that includes a matching retirement contribution. So go to statejobs.nebraska.gov and fill out that online state application, which is required. They are an equal opportunity veterans preference employer. Check out the employment page of sandhillsexpress.com for those details and details on all the jobs that we are aware of.
Bass Enterprises, Teresa Bass and Addie Jo Martin have moved. You can now find them at 2021 South E Street on Highway 2 at the Pearson Building just east of Maple Park Dental. They offer health, supplemental, such as dental, vision, accident, cancer, and disability, Medicare with all your major carriers, life insurance from term to whole. It's all available there. And if you're planning a vacation out of the country, might not have thought of this. Be sure and check with them on travel insurance. If your own medical insurance does not cover you in another country, you could be in trouble if you're in France and have a major health problem and can't get out. You wouldn't be covered. They have travel insurance for you that you can buy as a supplement. Ask Bass Enterprises about your options before you leave the country. And stop by and say hi at 2021 South E Street. That's Highway 2 at the Pearson Building just east of Maple Park Dental. You can also call them at 870-1485.
What's your favorite barbecue? Like, what's your favorite barbecue meat? Or I guess it could be a part of your barbecue plate, something you eat with barbecue or barbecue itself. What is it?
Well, I'm not big on barbecue sauce generally. If I put some on, I put a light amount on.
Okay.
So I don't cook with it. I'm pretty sparse with it on a pulled pork sandwich or something like that.
Pulled pork.
But I do like ribs. I don't have them very often, but they are messy but delicious.
And when they're done well, they are amazing.
They are. They just fall in your mouth.
Yes. And they are going to have ribs. They're going to have pulled pork. They're going to have cornbread. That's another favorite of mine when you're having barbecue. That's all going to be at the Oconto Volunteer Fire Department's Blowing the Doors Off Barbecue coming up Saturday, June 7th, 5 to 12. You can go and enjoy all that delicious food. Remember my hack. Just leave the bun to the side, eat the meat plain, then you can eat more meat. It's all you can eat. That's just unheard of these days. You go to these other rib fests in big cities and things like that, you're paying ungodly amounts of money, like $12 for just 3 ribs. Not here. $17 in advance, $20 at the gate for adults, all you can eat barbecue. Children's 5 to 12 or 10. They've got live entertainment set up all throughout the night, a raffle drawing and auction, and just a great all-around time brought to you by several sponsors from across the area that make it happen. It's all to benefit the Oconto Volunteer Fire Department, and it's happening very soon, Saturday, June 7th. Keep listening. We're going to have some tickets we'll be giving away, but if you've never been to the Oconto barbecue, you'll quickly find that whether you pay $17 in advance or $20 at the gate, you're going to get your money's worth at the Oconto barbecue coming up.
All right, sounds delicious and a whole lot of fun with good company that gather in Oconto. It is hard to keep track when you have a holiday. It doesn't feel like it's Wednesday already, but it is. So the question comes up then, what's for Wednesday at Chapin's Furniture on the south side of the square here in Broken Bow, Nebraska? Stop in today because they are getting crazy about their recliners. They are all half off.
Whoa.
Yes. So if you've been thinking my recliner is shot, I need to replace it, or we need to add another one rather than the chair or couch I've been sitting on, this is your day. 50% off recliners today, all sizes. And by the way, just in time for Father's Day. Get Dad something he really wants at Chapin's. Today only, 50% off recliners. And don't forget, Connie would love to help you with your decorating and floor covering with your home. Stop in and talk to Connie about that. Chapin's and Square One Boutique, south side of the square in Broken Bow. 50% off recliners today only.
And they've got that construction going through that area. Just remember, you can use any of their doors there. They'd love to see you in, and they want to make it as convenient as possible while that road gets resurfaced so that you can go in and do some business with them. But half off recliners has me wondering how we squeeze one of those in here.
Will not. I refuse to put a recliner in here for Brent.
Oh, But could you imagine he comes back his first day from vacation and finds a recliner in here for him? He was always talking about how, at the end of his day, no matter what time it is, he likes to spend some time in his chair. Just think about if he could do that at work. He'd be on a whole nother planet.
He would be, but he has trouble sitting up straight in that chair, let alone a recliner.
I think he'd be the first to admit he's a lounger.
He likes to lounge. Well, if you like to lounge, 50% off recliners today at Chapin's.
Got some comfy ones.
Take advantage of that offer. All right, it's coming up. We've been talking about it for a while, but Saturday is May 31st, and the Lexington Area Solid Waste Agency is taking many of the things you don't know what to do with and taking them in for free, a free service to you at the Lexington Area Solid Waste Agency. Now, here's what they'll accept. They'll take Yarden and Guard chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, flammables, paints, and thinners, auto products, used oil, antifreeze, household products and cleaning chemicals. They'll accept mercury and batteries, auto, lead acid, and or rechargeable, titanium, nickel, halide, and fluorescent light bulbs. Now, they will not take computers or high school lab waste, and they will not take appliances, construction waste, or tires. If you need more information about these details, you can contact the folks at 308-324-3351 or ask for Retro Environmental at 507-837-2068. And give them a call if you have any questions. Otherwise, you can take those articles and different chemicals Saturday, May 31st from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. at the Lexington Area Solid Waste Agency.
Great free service to have available.
Yeah. That's stuff that we just don't want to throw in the ground. We don't know what to do with it. They do. So.
Yeah, much better option and a legal option rather than dumping those things illegally. Just don't put that stuff in the dirt. Take these opportunities to get rid of it the right way.
All right. What do you have over there, Jeremy? Talking movies?
Yeah, we can talk movies a little bit. What's the date today?
Today is the 28th.
I'm so worried about the fact that it's Wednesday that I forget what day it actually is. So Fox Theater going to be moving and shaking a couple of things, and we'll kind of give you the rundown here. Main thing for you to know is that watchthefox.com is your best partner when it comes to knowing what movies are playing and so that you can buy tickets ahead of time. Now, going on through the 29th, that would be tomorrow, your opportunity to watch Last Rodeo, Lilo and Stitch, or the new Mission Impossible movie. Now, when we get to Friday, Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible are still going to be there. I know a lot of you are excited about Karate Kid Legends. That's going to be coming to the Fox Theater, and that's going to be playing in theater number 1. So taking a listen to this. After moving to New York City with his mother, Kung Fu prodigy Li Fong struggles to let go of the past as he tries to fit in with his new classmates. When a new friend needs his help, Lee enters a karate competition, but his skills alone aren't enough. With help from Mr. Han and Daniel LaRusso, he soon learns to merge two styles into one for the ultimate martial arts showdown. That's a PG-13 flick, and that is Karate Kid Legends starting this Friday at the Fox Theater in Broken Bow, joined by Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible. And keep your eyes and ears open, Jurassic World and Elio coming to the Fox Theater very soon. Go to watchthefox.com.
All right, thank you very much. Before we close the show, we're going to give you a chance to text in. I think I'll hand this over to Jeremy. You have more other live reads, Jeremy?
Yeah, we got a couple more. If we're running over anyway, we could play one more song. Do we have another Tim Downey song?
I just was thinking just like you. I thought
okay.
we'd play
Wow. We're on the same wavelength. That means we've hosted together too long. When you start getting on the same wavelength as someone who's a stand-in host.
That is an indicator.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, scary.
You want to do text-in trivia right now?
Sure, I've got...
while we listen to the song.
Yeah, I thought we could use Tim's song.
Perfect. Okay. Well, here is your opportunity, folks. It's time for text-in trivia. Your chance to win the grand prize quarter of beef and a freezer or a delicious cut of prime rib, all with local Bearded Hog barbecue seasonings. Text-in trivia is brought to you by CarQuest of Broken Bow, Colligan Broken Bow, and your friends at Custer County Feeders. All right. It's general trivia, and this one's pretty straightforward. All you need to do is text your answer to 308-870-0333. The question is, how many continents are there on Earth? Text with your answer, your first name, and your last name. If you don't have everything in your text, you can't be entered. You've got this entire Tim Downey song to text us your answer. How many continents are on the Earth? Text 308-870-0333.
Right, thank you, Jeremy. This is the song that he told us off the air that has been very, very popular. It's called She's a Soldier Too, and I believe he wrote this kind of centered around his wife's service in the military, and it's about 3 minutes long. So start texting now.
She got the call today. She has a job to do that will take her miles away for a year or two. She taught me how to cook and clean and do those things a mother knows. Clothes to wash, hair and nails to cut as the children grow. And I'm afraid she may not come back one day, and I miss her. She's a soldier too. She's out there on the front lines, protecting me and you. Can't wait to see her and hold her once again, praying until it's over. That's all I can do. She's a soldier too. Can't understand what my baby's saying. Does she want something to eat? My boy starts yelling that I forgot to brush his teeth. Doing a half-assed job at work and not much better at home. Weekend spent catching up and my night spent all alone. But she's okay, for I got her letter today, and I miss her. She's a soldier too. She's out there on the front lines, protecting me and you. Can't wait to see her and hold her once again, praying until it's over. That's all I can do. She's a soldier too. Can't imagine with my little boy and girl, raising them alone in this crazy world. Then I wake up from that dream as I'm still in my empty bed, all alone. I hear the phone. She says she's coming home. She's a soldier too. She's out there on the front lines, protecting me and you. Can't wait to see her and hold her once again, praying until it's over. That's all I can do. She's a soldier too. She's a soldier too. She's here for me and you. She's a soldier too.
Ah, what a great song. Timothy Downing, he was in earlier. That's just one of his, 60-some songs that he has written lyrics for. If you want to check out, again, go to suno.com, suno.com, at TJDrums12. But I think if you get to Suno, you can do a little search and find Tim's songs. He's got 66 songs available for listening there that he has put together. So
Yep.
Yeah.
And you could, 60 songs, you could sit there and listen for a while. And we all have our different tastes. And said he likes to dabble in Americana, a little bit of country, even a little bit of bluegrass here and there, and put a lot of work into those. And he said it when he was in here, he's looking to hitch a ride in Nashville. And I think he's certainly got the lyrics and the sound to be able to make that work. So wish him all the best in that journey. And hey, you never know. Hey, he said he was in here. If you know of someone that you want to get him in contact with, might be a person to record some songs. He's looking to make a demo.
Yeah. Great having you, man. We were joking with not with Tim, but after he left. You could probably have any of the brothers in, and the voices would be similar. They sound so much alike.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff and Dave and Tim and Craig and the ones that and Tom. There's 8 of them, and they all sound kind of the same.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and it was cool to hear his stories about their days playing together as well.
Yeah.
I thought that was awfully cool. They just all have kind of that music bone in their body.
Yeah, they've always been all about music, and they do a good job. They've all been involved in music some way or another, and as Tim mentioned, their mom was quite the piano and organ player in church and so forth, got them going. Anyway, texting is over, so just continue your texting, and Jeremy has a couple things. I'll take one of those, Jeremy.
Okay.
Split them up a little bit.
We've got one more of those texting opportunities coming your way on Friday, by the way, and that will be, by that time, most of the registration boxes will be picked up, so remind yourself to tune into the Breakfast Show on Friday. That'll be it will be your final opportunity to get registered for the Beef Month prizes. You have an opportunity to make sure your hearing is top-notch with the help of Roxanne, a board-certified hearing instrument specialist with over 35 years of experience right here in Broken Bow. So if you struggle with your hearing and worry about missing out on conversations with family and friends, stop in to see Roxanne. She is there to help. Local, dependable service right here in Broken Bow, including extended discounts for new and returning patients for just buying local with her. Pricing of it is available to fit all budgets. You think technology is wild in the industry you're in, try hearing aids. There's all kinds of different things that can help you out no matter your situation. So no need to hit the road and travel to somebody that, it takes several gallons of gas to go and see. Roxanne's got the experience, and she's right here ready to help. So call and make an appointment at 308-384-3852. They're in the Broken Bow Chamber Building. The business name is on the glass window in front. Best to call ahead and make an appointment, 384-3852. Go and get those extended discounts for new and returning patients at Nebraska Land Hearing, Broken Bow.
We are lucky to have her in town. We're also lucky to have Quality Senior Villages, specialty care for Alzheimer's and dementia. They are currently seeking some medication aides and caregivers to join their compassionate caring team. Shifts available include evenings, nights, part-time, weekends, days, and evenings. Some of the requirements: medication aid license preferred, must be dependable and caring. Having experience with Alzheimer's and dementia care is a plus, but not completely necessary. If you have a warm heart and want to help people, that will work. Call 872-6387 and ask for Ashley to apply or learn more about the jobs. Join them in making a difference every day. And that's our show for today.
Fun show.
Fun show. A lot of good guests, a lot of information, and that's what we like to do. We'll try it again tomorrow.
Okay, we'll give her a shot.
7:30. Meet you there.